No, it was great. Wasn't it restored to life? Fantastic. A full moon. And it was very bright, okay? But not to worry. Life carries on. These houses going. No, not really. Just a bit of a snuffly nose because we had real high temperatures today now. It's blowing a gale outside. Just a bit of a snuffly nose. You know how you get sometimes. So I'm not really sick as sick. What have you been up to today? Wow. 45 people, Gee, that's a lot of people. And it was Christmas Eve day, wasn't it? Yeah. Families, the families are going to miss them at this time of year.
What do you think about that? I arrived next week. It's quite my house now. My family is right here. My home yesterday. They went our way. It's not to be. So
going away. Yeah, I think so. Someone put that in there earlier. He put in the final moon of the year known as full cold moon falls on Christmas Day for you. Okay, and he didn't answer. He didn't answer anything else. And I said yes, but life still carries on.
We're going away on a fun trip somewhere.
Oh, we are. Going to a little while town, so that'll be good. We're away for 8 days as of tomorrow.
Our body, yeah, so I don't have to feel very good, so usually most of the day in bed watching football.
I bet that's kind of odd. Yeah, no, I've been up and down all day. In practice today, and I had a nap, okay. So do I. Can you hear my little girl in the background? Something is annoying her. No, we haven't got company. She's barking at this cat from next door, believe it or not.
Right beside me, and he did his back. He heard that dog barking. It jumped about. Must be a little dog.
Well, let's put it this way. When we picked her up 5.5 years ago, okay, she was no bigger than my hand. No bigger at all, okay? And she's still only as big as a big cat. She's smaller than a big cat. There you go. She's so tiny. Yeah, she really is. But she's adorable. Now, when we wanted the dog, we could take away with us, and she suited, you know, our arrangements when we travel. Hello, big brother. Yeah, and so she comes away, we'll go in the bag. No, let's go. Go on up. And so she comes away with us everywhere we go. And if we leave her home, boy, we know about it. She's just like a child, and we can talk to her like a child, and she understands us. Hello, lovely. And no, she understands what we're saying to her, so we don't really get cross with her. Oh, wow. Now, yeah, they do understand it, and they're so loyal. That's what I like about them. They are so very loyal. And how fun that's going. Yeah, we talk to her like she would be. Oh, business, not to worry. I welcome back to business. Yeah, we talk to her like this. And she eats what we eat, so she's happy about that. And I've been loyal today. I didn't do the dishes. Oh, that's it. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, not that fun. Yeah, sorry, I don't understand what you're saying. I like dogs. Yeah, definitely. Well, I've got something to be if my sweetie cook all day for me. I can do the dishes, don't you agree? Welcome back, please. Yeah, I think that's fair. Anyway, it was great enough. We had the voices still happening, and our way, of course. And those two kids work on that one. Voices, you know, voices, you open up this little shell, you put bacon on top, and put your sauce, and we had barbecue sauce to it. Yeah, yeah, then we put it under the grill, so then the bacon just a little warmed up to the crispy side, or just under the crispy side, and you take them out. I like pulled out a bit, and then you eat them. They are scrumptious that way. Never heard of that. We have them often over here. Now you keep them all in the shell, because we get ours by the dozen, and when we go out, and then we do that to them all the time. Oh, you know, they're so mouth-watering. Some more arrested. It does surprise me. I think there's some more terrorist attacks worldwide, actually, today. But it's arrested. Did you hear that Borneo has banned Christmas? Totally banned Christmas, and anyone wearing a Christmas hat could face Christmas on 5 years. How's that? Borneo, Brunei.
Is it Brunei? As far as a different country, I thought it was Brunei. Yes, Brunei. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Burning a Christmas tree. Why? Did they burn somebody's Christmas tree, or did they just light up a Christmas tree? Well, that's a stupid protest. What kind of dumbass protest is that? 11 cut. No, my God. That's just stupid. That's stupid. Anyway, wait, what you were talking about? I have never heard of that. And, you know, I live right in the middle of America, and we don't get fresh, I wouldn't even call it seafood, because I'm not very seasoned. Fresh fish that you catch yourself. So anything we get is like at least 24, usually 48 hours or more old and frozen. So we don't get that good stuff like you do. Not where I live. You know, it's 24, 48 hours or longer, and we just don't get fresh fish. No fresh seafood like that. No. What? Fishmonger? What's that? Where do you live, Bumper? I don't know what you're talking about, a fishmonger, really. Is that the only place I've ever seen that is in some book about the 1800s? I don't know what you mean, a fishmonger. I'm sorry, no. No, we don't have fishmongers. Bumper, I'm not sure what you mean, a fishmonger. I really don't. You mean a place that just sells fish? 23 or wait, do you know what he's talking about? I don't know. Oh, no, we don't do that, no. They're sure you know what you know. We don't, I've never seen it. Where do you live? Wait, I'm sorry, your hand's up, I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries, you know, I just need to even pick it up. It's all good, good with the word, I like to too, you know. Yeah, it's like a butcher that only sells meat. Even with steak oysters that are frozen, like say 24, 48 hours ago, you can still make it work with the oysters, by the way. So, you know, if you ever get it, yeah, it works that way. You know what you believe? I live 5-minute walk from the sea here. I live 5 minutes walk, and I'm basically on an island. Love it here. Well, it does, and that is my main meal. Oh, I love crab. Oh, really, that's my favourite seafood.
Why are you lying? I don't know who you are, but you're being a jerk now. That sounds really good, really, really good. I know you are, Bumper. Nobody that lives in Kansas talks about fishmongers. There are no fishmongers in Kansas. Yeah, what city do you live in, Bumper? Yeah, what city do you live in, Bumper? Really, yeah. What part of Kansas City? What part of Kansas City do you live in, Bumper?
Yeah, I don't have my cleats on. My bike has spikes on the tires, but I don't have my shoe cleats on.
Oh, yeah, then well, be careful. It's getting dark.
And that's your dinner? But he refers to Kansas City as West Kansas City. I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. Americans don't talk about fishmongers. Stupid. Well, that's just really good, Wig. I'd love to try that sometime. You're mine.
So us Australians have some good food, you know. And I'm not a real sweet food person, and so I try and make things, you know, that are a bit more different. So that's why I like oysters. Kilpatrick, our way of course. I make curried egg, not mustard egg, curried egg. You know, we like all that sort of kind of food. The recipe that's my own personal recipe. No, for the oysters, yeah. so for the oysters, that's how I like them.
Oh, you know.
For clams, yeah, well, I heard, big brother, for clams, I like them in their shell, on top of some rye, and some cheese sauce all over it, and just put that under the grill. Of course, yeah, I like my oysters fried, pan fried, you know, that's pretty nice. Yeah, and I love scallops. Oh, scallops, another one that's yummy. Well, you know, we need the resources, so we need trees. Well, yes, Muslims are causing problems worldwide. 11 countries have banned Christmas. 11 countries, okay? And, you know, we have a problem there. If they can ban Christmas, why can't we ban Ramadan? Because that is a holiday to them. That should be banned.
Merry Christmas, guys. All of you who celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And how are you all? I hope well. Listen, so I'm quite surprised when you say about fishmongers. You know, alright, this is, thank you. Thank you guys. You know, alright, this is London, and fishmongers tend to be more suspicious fish. You know, someone who actually sells fish is a fishmonger, so, you know, just cut it down, slice up and sell it. But I'm surprised. Yeah, most fishes. Depends on the fish from business, though. Depends on the call. You get the fish from the supermarket.
23, I have never heard an American talk about a fishmonger. The only place I've heard of fishmongers was in like old movies about New York City and the big immigration when they came. Nobody talks about a fishmonger. It's certainly not where I live. I buy fish, yeah, you have to buy it frozen mostly, and sometimes at a butcher's they'll have fish, but you know it's at least 24 hours old if it has to be, because, you know, I'm smack dab in the middle of the country. There's nothing close here. You have to go fish. No people to go fishing, but no, we don't get it. Even if it's fresh and not frozen, it's 24 to 48 hours old by the time it gets here. It's really interesting how they ship something like that, but I think broiled salmon is my favorite, and next would probably be fried shrimp and fried catfish. God, I love fried catfish. Wade was telling us about this clam recipe she has. Did you make that recipe for fried shrimp? Did you make it clam sauce recipe? Oyster sauce? Did you make that recipe yourself?
I think we all did once, and, you know, of course they started with the conquest, and they started with the conquest with cocktails and everything. Anyway, they had this technical file high, and I was late and I was happy. So that's all I could eat. So I ate and ate, and I'll tell you, I don't know if I like oysters. There's nothing to oysters. It's just the vibe of oysters, guys. They're salty, not that much of a call for the market, I know what you mean, yeah. But, when is the fish considered fresh and when is it not? Because they say you can't eat, I don't know, frozen oysters or something like that. So when does fish become frozen? Because I don't think these oysters remain just at room temperature for 24 hours. What do you say you've got in the line to squeeze lumberjack?
Well, you know that you put oysters in a Hessian bag, keep them wet with seawater, and that will last you 3 weeks. A Hessian bag, yeah. What's a Hessian bag? Oh, yeah, I don't know what it is. I'll have to look it up. Like string Hessian? Yeah, I know. I'm an Australian, of course I have to. Yeah, so, I'll have to look it up the definition for you, okay? But yeah, you can do that. Wicked owls. Are they burlap bags? Are they lumberjack? Oh, okay. And they will keep fresh for up to 3 weeks, as long as you keep wetting the bags down.
I would personally think that. Have you ever been poisoned from children? I went to what was a specialty fish restaurant a long time ago. Very fancy restaurant, very expensive. On the way home, I vomited. I lived 6 miles away from the shop, alright? 6, alright. And I stopped every mile or kilometre from it on the side of the road. Now I'll tell you, this is not normal vomit. This shit started out about a yard ago. This is not funny. So if you have been poisoned from shellfish, you'll know all about it. I wouldn't take a chance. It's not just an ordinary food. It's weak stuff, and it can kill you. That's the whole point. It can easily kill you. So I
known people who've done early to mark that. But the whole point is, okay, if you freeze them once they've been caught, straight away, you don't get food poisoning unless you get them for too long, okay, in the freezer. But I like my oysters warm through. That's how I prefer. And I like it that way. Oh, there's some nice, yummy recipes out there.
It's hard to like it, but the thing is, you must realise something. It's equivalent to eating frogs in pork, I suppose. In France, you know, people started to eat this when they couldn't get really good food. They couldn't get good beef and chicken and the food was knowledge food. They started to eat whatever was available. They ate snails and they ate frogs.
Involuntarily gagged and spit it out. I felt terrible. I apologized to her later, but I was in shock. God, no wonder nobody likes it. It didn't taste that bad, but it was the consistency of it was grainy. I hated it. It was just awful.
I love tongue. I'll tell you, I love, and I'll tell you what, you know, you get restaurants here, you get hot salt beef restaurants, they call it, which are really corned beef, right? You know corned beef. And, you know, you call it corned beef, we call it hot salt, alright? But pickles, what is available? Listen, I'm serious. You know, you know what corned beef is? Well, it started out, corned beef is actually hot salt beef. That's what we call it. That's our name for it. It's pickled and boiled beef, right? I do it myself. I pickle it myself and I boil it myself. I do, and we have it with hot tongue. And I'll tell you, sliced, it's so delicious. And tongue, hot or cold, with white bread and pickles, with, I don't know, we call it mustard or pickles, or sauerkraut, cold sauerkraut, it's really delicious. Of course, corned beef is brisket, but it's corned. What it is, it's pickled. That's your bees, you need to expand your horizons. You need to try and live, man, live life. No, it's not pink salt, it's kosher salt, it's called kosher salt, it's grain, it's lumps of salt. Yeah, but before she told you what it was, you thought the taste of it wasn't bad, was it? It was nice. But you know, I don't know if you call it bully beef, have you heard of that? Look, all these things taste similar, but when you think of what it is, you hate it. I'll tell you another thing you probably hate, kidneys. You hate kidneys, I suppose. I was brought up with it, kidneys and fried eggs breakfast. It's terrific, man. Yeah, but bully beef but bully beef came in tins, cans. Look, it's just a different, we call it different names, or basically the same stuff. But pickled, what is, you know this Irish green holiday you've got, I don't know what it's, Irish Day or something. You know when you guys have that pickled, what's corned beef and, what is it, sauerkraut or something like St. Patrick's Day here. immigrants in America. So the Irish, they had to substitute something. And corned beef is actually Jewish. Now, come on, bees. It's not. Come on, it's nice. And what you do is, so they couldn't afford to have pork in America, so they saw the Jewish recipe, which is beef, that the Jews don't eat pork, and they tried that, and then it became associated with the Irish. But that's why you think it's an Irish dish, you know. But come on, bees, man. You come over here, and I'll hold you down, and I'll feed you like. There you go. That's my portrait for you. But it's lovely, man. I'll make you like. You know, I mean, it's delicious. What's not to like? Come on, have you tried corned beef and corned beef? Well done, properly done, not salty and horrible. I make lovely stuff. I make it for myself because in the shop it's often too salty. But it's delicious. I love it, man. So,
yeah, I love hot dogs and sauerkraut. I love pork cooked in sauerkraut. Oh, it takes a few hours to cook, but it's yummy. So, you know, but there again, I like most food, and I'm always willing to try a new food. I was scared to eat a worm one day. That kicked out the worm, but I tried it. I didn't like it, so I said, I'll never try it again, thank you.
but look, some things I'll accept. It puts you off and it makes you sort of feel like you want to get it. It's better not well for yourself. But corned beef, don't you like that? What's wrong with corned beef? It's brisket. That's all it is. It's a part of the car.
That's funny, I'm not a beef person. You know, my sweetie can eat beef whenever he wants, but I prefer chicken and pork and stuff like that. But for myself personally, I'm not a beef person. I don't eat steak, T-bone steak, nothing like that.
Oh, no, I'll taste it. I don't like the stuff I must admit. But beef, no, I like chicken. It's not bad. Done the right way. But beef, you know, another thing I make, I'm from South Africa originally, and we, you know, do big steak. And you're in a biltong. It's like food. I love it. I love that stuff.
Good morning all. Merry Christmas to the Christians in the room. Yeah, biltong, dried meat, preserved meat, and then we've got corned beef. These are all, if you like, technology foods that were created for the military. The whole idea was to create something that could be put in a ration pack that would be carried into field and wouldn't go off. All good stuff, as it turned out. Corned beef worked out very well. It was designed to keep the troops alive, and people actually took a taste to it. Spam, yeah, that was the other one. And there was, I think, one on light bulb grill. You know, things that were developed that were adopted by certainly the British military and others. And then you had the MREs, the you know, ready-made stuff. So it was all, you know, amazing. Conflicts versus creativity and is anyone aware of any particular food or thing that's come about as a result of radical Islam and these thoughts?
Somehow, so one way is salt, hence brisket and so on, and the other way is dehydration. Now, dehydration is brisket, is jerky, and the South African word for jerky is biltong, which is similar to, well, again, jerky. Actually, jerky is got small and fancy spices on it. Biltong tends to be wheat, salt, and coriander, and a few other little things, but not much, and dried correctly, and you can store that for weeks, for months, as long as you keep it dry. So dehydration and salt doesn't. I've never even seen a dehydrator. The only time I saw a dehydrator was on the internet. I mean, you Americans have dehydrator. We don't have dehydrator. Well, I don't. But the dehydration converts just basically you dehydrate it by leaving it in circulating air and with salt, of course, to stop the bugs. So, but I make lovely, I make terrific biltong, if I say so myself. I used to get it ordered here, then I started to make it myself, but So I look to be great for them, but it's chocolate. Also, you know, it's energy on, you know, it's transportable. What else? I don't know about brisket being on another Jewish, I suppose. I'm not sure. But it's also, it's a Jewish food, you know, see? And it was adopted by the Irish because in America, as I told them before, in America, the original salt pork, it was too expensive, so they looked around, you know, and they saw it, and they tried to fix stuff, and they switched to beef.
And like I said, Papa Jack, I like my seafood, I like my chicken and fish. Oh, sorry, chicken and pork. They're my three staples, and I'll make a variety of dishes, all without herbs. So yeah, no herbs in this place. Chicken hamburgers, yes, but not hamburgers.
You dehydrate beef, so what do you put on the beef when you dehydrate it? You put something on it. And essentially, you put salt on it, and garlic, coriander, and then tomatoes. Dehydrate it off, and then you can pack it in, first of all, what that's for.
Get up the hill. First of all.
What about traveling? First take a beef carefully. I don't want to cook up beef, you know, mold.
Say a command.
Cancel.
Cancel.
You at all, honestly. Yeah, I know, damn household. But I use a lot of chili in our food. Okay. I use a lot of chili in our food. It's got bland. We're nothing in their taste, but they're starting to enjoy all food with a bit of chili in it now.
You've got quite a wide range of knowledge. I'm impressed with you that you know about milk sausage. A lot of people don't. Also, but you'll never get a strong vacuum. You know, you get a relative vacuum. You've got to make sure it's dry. It's very important. It doesn't sit in moisture for a long time. No, but that's the bag. How do you pull it out? Suck it in a straw or pass it to systems that I've never seen that. Well, you know, the way to do this is that's what these schools do. These schools, as far as preserving it after that, well, I don't think, I don't know, I'm not sure what they do, but I'm sure they do. When they see the TV, they do that. I mean, most people, they need lumpy things.
She'll be back because we have good speed. How book a voice?
Zing, I think you forgot to tell them about, you know, when we get British or corned beef. Our corned beef is right, it's really fully beef. And it comes in a can. And that, the military had a lot of use for that, especially in World War I.
Oh, yes, well, you know, they say necessity is the mother of invention, isn't it? You know, conflict is generally not a good thing, but occasionally good stuff comes out of it, so it's not all negative. I mean, even the current nonsense in the Middle East has brought forth a new invention, a new patented invention for instant fortification, which, you know, was trumped up to meet a need of soldiers in a dusty, sandy area, sort of thing with like mega sandbags. Okay, not a food product, but an innovation that works. It's not an RPG. So, all good fun. They have the Michael and Profit.
Wars create massive advance in invention, as you say, in progress, basically. The war, you know, that's the good side of it. It pushes all sorts of innovation, invention, big steps.
Anyway, Islamic State is not long for this world. It'll take a while, but they'll be winkled out. You know, they will not see another Christmas, that's for certain. Oil revenues cut off, you know, supply routes curtailed. It's going to be over sooner rather than later. I expect when the foreign fighters decide they've had enough and manage to sneak away, that's when it will all collapse. And then we'll read about Baghdadi one day, about how he's dead and no one's there to take his place. How is he? Because he had a bit of a limp last time he was about, so we nearly got him. He's still about, but he might be a bit injured. Anyone got any news on Baghdadi?
I haven't got any news about Baghdadi, but I take it easy, Merry Christmas. But 11 countries have banned Christmas now. 11 Islamic countries have banned Christmas. BRUNEI is just one of them. I think it's Somalia, and then 11 of them.
What's it up? Ban Ramadan. None of our things tradition. What? Which countries are they?
I can't remember all of it, but I remember the most. Tanzania, I think, and then it goes on. I remember, you know, I only read it quickly this morning, but yeah, the countries have banned it.
What, Tanzania? You got me joking. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, the nutters are truly in control of the box. Oh well, you know, there's going to have to be a reprisal on that. I mean, I'm going to go look this up. If any of these organisations, ultimately Arab countries, if they've got embassies, we should go and massively disrespect the embassies. That's the only way forward. Just go and hang signs on the gate, you know. Some, you know, Bar Hamburg, Scrooge lives here, that kind of thing. The message is about respect. You want respect, you've got to earn it first, that kind of stuff. And let their ambassadors know that we hold them in utter contempt. And then stop buying goods from their country, that's the other thing. Economic boycott, that's the idea. We don't need them, we don't need what they offer. Let them starve, that's my view. No more aid for those countries, no nothing, just cut them off. It's yet another example of Islamic disrespect and how it has to be, you know, returned tenfold. And, you know, if they moan and say, well look, your ally guy's going to look after you. There is no other god but your ally guy. So, you know, get on with it. Also, you know, against Saudi Arabia, no, I will not respect Saudi Arabia. I don't want to, if they let me respect other cultures. And, you know, I'm not just like this with Christianity. It's like I was saying, their own religion. You know, applying statutes was wrong. It's that simple. Fuck North Korea. Mr. Bad Head. What do you expect them to do anyway? Already got, you know, fat boy kid running things, Somalia, well, starving anyway. There's a, you know, analyse that, isn't it? I'll go with printful this stuff. Albania, you've got to be shitting me. I thought they wanted to join the European Union. Albania, I've had, I only went there not so long ago, and look around. I've been to Croatia, not yet been to Albania. I used to welcome the voice of Tirana. China has banned Christmas, get off. Are you sure about this? Well, this isn't a Daily Express, is it? I mean, where's this information coming from? But I don't think the Chinese have banned Christmas. I mean, they have got some of a sense of humour. They're just worried about groups that run around with knives stabbing people. I'm not aware that Christians get up to that kind of thing. It doesn't stop them tolerating, you know. Yeah, well, that's okay. Well, they probably count it as a demonstration, but I think the Chinese are chilled enough to handle their Christianity and their Buddhism. I can understand them being very upset about Islam, and I would applaud them there. I don't know. I can't see the Chinese throwing all their toys out over Christmas carols and someone putting a Christmas tree up. I really can't. Islamic dominated? I don't think so. They're very much non-theists, you know, Communist Party, if anything. If anything's going to rear its head, perhaps it's the Buddhism or something like that. But again, they've got a little bit of a beef going with the Dalai Lama and the separatist movement, but I mean, what country doesn't have a separatist movement? So I'll hold that against them. They don't do badly for a single country of 1.4 million. You know, I'm quite pro-Chinese, as you gathered. I think they're not bad a lot. Yeah, I mean, that's right. Tibet's an issue, but who hasn't had issues? It's proof that you can't please all people all the time. And indeed, everything is made in China. Well, with a few exceptions. Japan is put yes. Everything is made in China. No, I'm not sure about that, so you might be right. I'll check. I yield the mic whilst I check the label on my shirt and I am the prophet.
Hi, good morning to all. Merry Christmas. Yeah, many people they are not aware of. They think China is a Buddhist country. China is Islamic, one of the largest Islamic countries in the East. than Pakistan and Afghanistan because it is flooded with all kinds of people. That is one of the populations in the world. And Tibet, the Dalai Lama is in Tibet. He is not in China. And even he was restricted to go to China many times. Taiwan is also Islamic dominated. More than 50% population is Islamic. Cambodia, they are. Japan is a Buddhist. And Thailand, Philippines, these are the Islamic. These are the Buddhist countries plus Islamic countries. Many people think China is not an Islamic country. Just please Google it. And that's the reason Iran has allowed China to make their aerodrome for their crude oil trading with them because they both belong to the same Islamic group. Anyway, what's the history?
I'll tell you that. Yes, they have a lot of Muslims in China, but China is not an Islamic country.
China's Islamic section is always fighting, I forget the name, but China is bad. Look at the communist rule of China. This is what it said. China is right. The communist rule of China has banned Christianity altogether, but that doesn't stop the man on none of it. It's against church, it's against Islamic. Look, China has banned civil servants and teachers, it's mainly giant teaching from fasting during Ramadan, right? And ordered restaurants to stay open, or any country bans people from fasting. Can't be Islamic, can't be.
That's where I got the information from. China bans Ramadan fast Muslims Northwest. There you go. China is not an Islamic country. I wish Paige stayed around so I could just respond to her.
So it's not Tanzania. I think you made a mistake there. What is Tanzania is not Islamic. I'm sure it's not. Yeah, these Muslims are always whether they are accountable for countries or not. No, that's another story. So don't you know the banking system anyway. I'm sure it's not. But anyway, I think maybe but Tanzania, I really I'm not sure, totally sure that I doubt.
I think the Chinese been force-feeding wannabe Muslims watermelon during Ramadan. It's like watermelon not going to go kick it, you know. You've got to admire their sense of humour. I think Chinese got it about right. Now, as for the origin of my t-shirts, my go-go shirts, etc., I don't have a problem there because I can't see anything on the label. I might have chopped the labels off, you know, because I do that with lots of stuff. So labels tend to stick into you and you won't notice that. And it's not like any wash instructions. You just chuck them in the machine, set it on a 40 wash and it just does it, you know. It goes into it, it comes out of the amazing machine. I'm like, who would have thought? I like to find look around for one and chop the labels out. Most of my labels are gone, I'm afraid. How tragic. Are you on my phone?
Malaysia or they have Pakistan, you know, or something like that. Malaysia seems popular as an alternative source.
Oh, we get a lot of t-shirts in the UK from Pakistan, some from India. I don't know, bed sheets I get from Egypt. They do quite good, they do very good cotton actually, Egyptian cotton. You know, open carry.
It's not Vince, is it?
Open carry, concealed carry, good idea. But I'll work on it. I'm in no hurry. I'll probably
Nope.
have.
Thought I recognized you.
Bear in mind that even with my.
Thought I recognized you for a second.
I have to leave the US for 5 minutes every 3 months. You know, pop over to Canada or something like that. That's if I was there
I thought it was
full
Vince.
time. You know, what I'm doing would be totally legal. I can get a visa because of the business I'm involved in.
No, it's not Vince.
That would last
Get out of here,
for
Nathan.
2 years at a time. I don't think I still carry until I've got a green card, and that means I've been through all the vetting. You know, of course, Sam's got a right to know a little bit about people, and it allows to carry guns around, let's face it. You know, I'd expect them to have a good old look, you know, turn me upside down, give me a shake, see what falls out. I don't have a problem with America. I'm not in America. You know, I'm in a position where, the way I see it, the rules in the UK are about right, and so are the rules in the US. I would not want the sort of people that I know in the UK to have guns. It would be a nightmare. They'd be shooting each other, they'd be shooting me just to see what happens, you know, that kind of thing. In the US, gun safety civilians. It's again, different realities require different solutions. And, what works for you is one size does not fit all. I don't think schizophrenia, I think that's just being realistic. Are you like a prophet?
Reflecting on most of us, except for the main
other time resources. What are you going to do then? You know, you're a one-trick pony essentially. As long as you've got oil revenue, you've got some sort of say in the matter. The minute we don't need oil, or we can replace it with something else, you've got no say in the game at all. You should be absolutely terrified. You're a Muslim and you should be. Well, what do Muslims do? They get qualified in other fields. That'd be very sensible because when the oil runs out, you'll have nothing to trade. You know, is there a large market for desert sand? I ask myself. Oh well, go figure. I wouldn't want to be a Muslim. I know that. Well, you're the right, I am a prophet.
You know, there's been said about cars, cars kill people. You know, cars are made
I think it's in Iran. Bear in mind that they're straddling two countries at the moment, but the point is they're being pushed back now. I mean, the amount of firepower that's always there. Basically, the Iraqi army sort of marches forward, whatever, drives forward when it encounters any resistance. It comes to an airstrike. Once everybody's dead, it marches forward a bit more, and it's doing that in those two places. Yeah, there's a big old city. It's going to be it's a free country, you know. No one's forcing them to go or stay. They stay, they get slaughtered, they go, and the living years. Anyway, way of the mind, man of the prophet.
Hey Tom, what's wrong with wishing people a Merry Christmas? What's wrong? Nothing wrong with it. Thank God, and a Happy Christmas, and Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. And all good things for you and your family.
Yeah, well, it's justice that we don't support Islamic belief. That is justice, okay? Have you ever dwelled into Islamic belief 100%?
Coffee, when I heard how I support justice. He's a filthy little Muslim. That's all. That's all I can say is I support justice. Justice, filthy Muslim. You should say I support killing of everyone, including Muslims. Kill. That's your one.
Yeah, I'm against violence too, but sorry. You think honor killings aren't violent, as ordained in Islamic writing? They are condoned. That's violence. Do you condone beating women, as stated in Islamic violence, Islamic Quran? Okay, is that violent? I wonder. Okay, you show me a non-violent Muslim.
None exist. Non-violent Muslims. They tell you they're not.
Look, but the Muslims do, Coffee Time, and you remaining quiet about it, that means you condone it by your silence, okay? Muslims condone beating women because they think women are property, okay? So, yeah, your silence is your answer. Do you understand that?
Well, you know, this beating thing, it's the lesser of two evils. It's the beheading which concerns me. Maybe they could sort of move away from beheading and sort of move up towards beating on the way to perhaps, you know, sort of verbal retribution or something like that. I mean, it's like an exit path, you know. Beating is not the problem, it's the beheading. The problem is to wean them off the head via the beating onto perhaps just mild verbal chastisement. You know, there's think of it like an exit path. Are you on the mic, I am, Prophet?
Yeah, so people condemn. Oh, no, okay, I forgot to say that. Only killing women, hanging them by the neck to death because they've been raped. You're condoning it by your silence. That's where the problem comes in, taking it. Sorry, Coffee Time. It doesn't matter. The fact is in Islamic writing, okay? They give you specific instructions how to stone a woman for committing adultery. And did you not? Well, you do defend Islam by not speaking up against her.
Oh, don't get us wrong. I mean, stoning is old school. You know, it's in the Old Testament. Go and check out Judges and Deuteronomy. I mean, Deuteronomy is an absolute bumper laughs when it comes to stoning. I mean, the problem is at that time, people were very, very poor, and you couldn't always guarantee they'd have a rope to hang anyone to administer justice, so it had to be stoning, because there was always plenty of stones. The big question was, where do you stone someone? Who does the stoning and who witnesses it? That would vary. And fair enough, you know, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 years ago, no prison, nights a day. I could sort of understand why that might be necessary, you know, but the fact is that, you know, given so it's all tests, but therefore it's, you know, trauma type stuff, all tests and stuff. The fact is, Jews don't stone me, Christians don't stone me, you know, we've grown out of that nonsense, you know, the West doesn't do that. We try locking them up and rehabilitation and stuff like that. It's only Muslims, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years after we stopped, that carry on stoning them. It's just Muslims. And what's the same really? You don't see it anymore. When's the last time you ever heard of a Jew stoning? Or a Christian stone someone? Or maybe the Hindu. I don't think Hindus do stoning. You know, stoning is something that Muslims should have given up hundreds of years ago. They chose not to. That's their free choice. And it's our free choice to either accept or reject it. You know, I personally, I reject it. That's a simple issue. I think they're, you know, backward-looking, terror-loving lunatics when they behave like that. They need to be reprimanded. So, you know, accept your reprimand if you're a Muslim. You shouldn't be doing that stuff. Are you the Micah and the Prophet?
Put it in text copy. My issue is that not speaking out against the human rights violations that are presently occurring. I should have put illegal. Then one is compliant in their silence. Well, you are, because the violence at the moment around the world is done by Muslims. Look at ISIS. Do you speak up against ISIS? I wonder how they. I haven't seen you do that yet. Because ISIS is doing exactly what the Quran tells you. That is a pure Islam. They are Sunni Muslim. Okay, there is your problem. No, it's not a terrorist organisation. Because ISIS is doing everything that Muhammad did, okay? You can call it a terrorist organisation all you like, but it's Islamic organisation. It's the Sunni Muslim. They're even condoning body parts to sell on the market after they chopped off the head, okay?
What do you mean by violence? What do you mean with violence? What do you mean by that?
No. Coffee time, you better get them back. The tunnels there in the Gaza, okay? They were dug out by children from the Gaza, okay? Who killed the children? Who killed the children, Coffee time? By closing in the tunnels and burying the children alive. Who did that, Coffee time? Okay? And, I just remembered something, hang on.
Yes, coffee means violence, that's right. You think dirty words. I don't know what violence is meant to do with it. Aim at children. I don't know. Sometimes coffee is horrible. It's fascinating. Why not ask one thing? Why?
The Israelis warn them when they're going to send rockets over. Who tells them to stay put? Who is responsible? You don't know. You're not living in Israel. We may show that fact. You don't.
How many Israelis before these rockets fall? Can you give us a good number? Is it 1, 10, 3, 4? I don't want them. But you don't want Israel to accept these rockets, 10,000 rockets within 1 year. We should accept. What occupation are you talking about, Cockpire? What occupation was there in 1948 when the Muslims attacked Israel? What occupation was there in 19... Or Palestine? There was never an independent state called Palestine in 1915. Look at your point, Cockpire. I'm not talking. According to the Christian Bible, answer. You what's it called, really? You are now being deceptive yourself, calling us septic. Don't mention your Christianity in order to bash the Jews. You haven't got a homeland, compadre. Sorry to say, the homeland of the Christians was Judea and not Palestine. So why do you mention the Holy Land to Christians, real compadre? You think Palestine's Holy Land to Muslims then? It's also their homeland, compadre. And what about the Jews? The Jews also. I asked, well, no, you said the Holy Land of the Christians. Why did you mention that? No, you didn't. You answered the Holy Land of the Christians. So you're using Christianity. Coffee time. You don't believe Judaism is holy for the Jews? Coffee time? You forgot about that part. Now what about Holy Land to the Muslims? Coffee. It's Jerusalem or a second holiest land for the Muslims. So in other words, the land is not just your land, it's also his land, it's also Muslim's land, it's also pagan land. Coffee time. So don't claim the land to be only yours. It was never only your land. Coffee time. And last and least, really? When did we change that? Coffee time. When was it called Palestine? You mean after the Romans changed the land name from Judea to Palestine? Coffee time. Let's go back. Who changed the name of the land Judea according to your sick logic? Through change from Judea to Palestine. Coffee time. See, you got me to ignoring the history. Forget the religion. Let's talk about the history now, Coffee. Who changed the land name of Judea to Palestine? Come on, Coffee. Huh? Who changed the name from Judea, which is in your Bible, which is historical, from Judea to Palestine? Coffee won't answer. Anyway, you're my quick.
Poor Coffee. Look at this. Introducing himself as a Muslim scholar who lives in Jordan said, on his personal Facebook page, there is no such as Palestine. And guess what? He used it as reference. Allah had shot the Holy Land to the children of Israel until the day of judgment. Quran, Surah 5, the Surah of the Table, verse 21. We made children of Israel inheritors of the land. So, Coffee, you are uneducated. There's no such place as Palestine. Even Muslims are telling you that Palestine does not exist. So, I'm sorry, Coffee. You better become better educated, one.
Coffee time. Did you mean the British Palestine, the British mandate Palestine? Coffee time. Palestine was the invention of the Romans. Coffee time. Let's play your little game. Palestine is an invention declared by the Romans under the influence of the pagans. Is that fair, Coffee time, or you got me on ignore? Coffee time, are you ignoring me? And then I bet your Coffee time has me on ignore because it's now not answering me. Coffee time, there. Coffee time. You, I there. Coffee has me on ignore. Coffee time is a pure Muslim country.
You are a Muslim, Coffee time, and I'll tell you why. Because you don't even believe the fact there is no Palestine. It does not exist, okay, at all, even today.
Coffee time, a simple question I'm asking you. Who changed Judea to a place called Palestine? Can you answer that question? It's a historical question. Who changed Judea, Palestine? My history.
Order. There is no Palestine. There are Arabs from Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, and Egypt. There is no Palestine. You can say as all you like. Even the Muslims say now, Palestine does not exist. You're not a Palestinian. Palestine has never existed as a nation. The region under Palestine ruled alternatively by Rome, by Islamic and Christian crusaders, by the Ottoman Empire, and briefly by the British after World War I. The British agreed to restore at least part of the land to the Jewish people and their ancestral home. It was never ever ruled by Arabs. Palestine does not exist. So you can keep arguing, you keep lying to yourself, okay? But Palestine does not exist. Stick to the topic. You're not a Palestinian. No such place. There's no archaeological evidence of Palestine existing. None there are still. You see, every time you are affected or and getting it finally, you are not born in Bethlehem. That's a load of crap. And since 1968, Arafat was screaming there's no such thing as Palestine. Because if you were from Palestine, you were Jewish. The passports were the British that the British issued were in Hebrew. No such place. So you can keep lying to yourself and lying to us. You're a Muslim.
See, again, you're using religion to bash the Jews, not me. Again, Jesus, your brethren, he was born in Judea, not in Palestine. I hate Jesus into the picture when you deny it. Stop changing the subject, Coptide. Stop changing the subject now to Israelis pulling down our churches. By the way, Coptide, some of those churches were born by Christian Palestinians in family of Jews. Just stop BS us, okay? And stop changing the top 22 Jews. You're denying your Jesus in order to bash the Jews. You're denying the history in order to bash the Jews. And you're claiming claims that has no basis.
I know you've been caught out in the lie coffee time, okay? You've been caught out of it. You've been caught out in the lie. You're a Muslim, full stop, the end, no more. So I don't watch YouTube for that sort of crap, because anybody can put stuff on there. So you don't want the facts, you don't want to look at history, you don't want to look at anything. I could have just proved to you Palestine does not exist, and you know, you're so uneducated about everything, and you're a female Muslim. It seems so, because you know, it shows that people who inbreed all the time have less intelligence. Yes, the truth will set you free, Coffee, get an education.
Coffee time, is this my exception from Matthew? Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea during the region of reign of Herod. First of all, Coptime, where does it mention Palestine? Like easy. And was King Herod a Christian? Like this guy.
Peace be upon you all. Could I have a mic check? Hello everybody. Merry Christmas. Peace be upon you on the day that our Messiah was born. Peace be upon you the day that our Messiah will come back. Jesus, or Esau, as I call him in my language, the son of Mary, the one who was conceived with a virgin birth. Suru Macher. What do you call him? Don't you call him, what do you call Mary in the Talmud? What do you call the Talmud, Suru Macher? Did you guys know that Suru Macher in the Talmud called Virgin Mary a whore? This is blasphemy, and nobody...
What that means is, you're talking about not about the Jews, not about anyone else, about Islam. So peace be upon Muhammad. Okay? I don't care, mate. You keep your beliefs to yourself. This book is about Islam.
I said, peace be upon the day that my Messiah was born. Peace be upon the day that he will return, and peace be on the day that we will all be resurrected. That's what I believe. I believe in the Messiah. Suru Macher, do you believe in the Messiah? Do you believe in Jesus Christ as being the Messiah? Yes or no? No, I'm serious, Suru. I really don't engage in religious debates. I'm not a religious guy. I'm a Marxist. I really don't, but I'm a spiritual person. I believe in God and I believe in the prophets. I believe in Abraham, Moses, and everything. But let me ask you a question. Do you believe in Jesus Christ? I believe in the Messiah. I believe that he will come back, the Messiah, by the will of God. I believe that he cured the blind. I believe that by the will of God, Jesus Christ made the... Say it to me.
Cancel. Cancel.
Cancel.
They do not believe, that's another lie, Coptime. Muslims do not believe in Jesus. Try another false story. Get educated, Coptime. They have never believed in Jesus. They believe in Isaac.
If you break on me once again, I'll leave the room because I wasn't listening.
Coffee time. Is Jesus a prop for Christians now? Oh Christians wrote about coffee time. Oh, yeah, that's okay. Only the earlier Christians. Coffee time, do you know any of your history? Because you're the one who comes here using cheese to pass to Jews, and then practice when you're just bad as a Muslim who say that the Quran was quality correct.
See, read it for yourself. Christmas celebrations, banned in Somalia, jackets, whatever it is, and Bruneios, okay? There you go. They banned Christmas. Anyone wearing a Christmas hat will get 5 years imprisonment. That is Islamic tolerance for you. That is the Islamic tolerance. Welcome back to ZUR. Coffee time is just went to make a cup of coffee. Just to let you know. There you go. Now, there's 11 Islamic countries that have banned Christmas. 11 of them. Where's the tolerance by Muslims? Oh, we love Christians, you know, we respect Christians. We want to live with them. Where's the tolerance when Islamic countries are banning Christians?
I want coffee time to tell me, if you can tell me who Pantera is according to the early books, the early scriptures. Who was Pantera? Coffee time. Oh, I see his name here. Anyway, Mike is
punishment for violating the ban is a 5-year jail sentence. And Muslims would be committing offence if they so much as wore hats or clothes that tend to resemble Santa Claus laws. Sorry. So once again, Muslims are proving how intolerant they are. They expect people around the world to accept Islamic holidays. Can we ban Ramadan and Eid? Can we? We should, you know. Why not? Muslims are banning Christmas left, right and centre. 5 years jail for wearing a hat or clothes that resemble Santa Claus. A 5 years prison sentence for that. That is Islamic tolerance. Yeah, we should ban Ramadan in every country. And I totally agree, we should. If they can ban Christmas, we can ban Ramadan. Well, they basically did in China. They told the shops to say, desert fast. Yeah, we have to. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? Oh, yes, we can. They have desert fox at the moment. We should. I'm an atheist swine at mine. He lives to this beautiful, loving Christian. But there you go, he's a Muslim. Calling me a swine? See, this is Islamic tolerance. Gotta love it. This is why I don't dot you so quickly. Because you know why? This is Islam to a T. Insulting the lady, but we respect women, and then calling me a swine pig. My days are coming, threatening me. There you go. This poor Muslim is trying to show me the peace and love of Islam. Hi Daya, welcome back. You are a Muslim. The end. There you go. See, this is what they do. Muslims are pretending to become Christians so they can, say what they like and get, he's a Muslim. Told you he ran when I exposed him. Thank you for that. Another Muslim exposed. I don't love the Muslim. No respect for women. Threatening me? Yeah, I know. He is a typical Muslim pretending to be a Christian. Because if I had asked him, or down in the room, peace be upon Muhammad, do you think I would have got that? I doubt it. You don't need to say that. Hey, Julia, Santa, enough. Now, even though it's true that in Somalia most girls have been circumcised, okay, and they cannot enjoy sex, and the men do have sex, yes, but have no need to carry on like that. Yes, ain't sex, and that is not a word of a lie. Well, Muhammad did say, I'm going to get the writing for you, okay, and this is in the Arabic, okay, he said, here you are, Muhammad, welcome back, Daya. This is from a part of Sahih Muslim 525. Companions have said that if a female head has penetrated a woman's anus or a man's anus or an animal's vagina or his anus, then it's necessary to watch whether the one being penetrated, dead or alive, young or old, whether it was done intentionally or absent-mindedly, whether it was done willfully or forcibly. There you go. It's not banned in Islam. So, anal sex is permitted according to Muhammad, and you're not going to be punished. Now, what do you think about the sexual perversion out of the hadiths? Can you tell me? I checked out your video. I don't find it interesting. I think it's just brainwashing, more brainwashing being done. But what do you think about the sex? If a penile head has penetrated a woman's anus, anal sex is permitted according to Islam. Hello, snake. How you going? Oh, yes. The Prophet, this is on him, said if anyone had sex or intercourse with an animal, kill him and kill it along with him. I asked him, what offence can be attributed to the animal? He replied, I think he, the Prophet, disproved of his flesh being eaten when such thing had been done to it. Abu Dawud. So there you go. You can make sex with animals permitted, and I'll show you why. These gadgets come in quite handy, don't they? Dear me, so glad. I wonder what would happen, because I know they do it in Saudi Arabia, totally 100%. There you are, this is from Saudi Arabia, okay? The pilgrimage to Mecca is not complete without conversation with the camel. It's not grand, it's not fantastic. Copulating with the camel, you've got to love it. Oh, the pilgrimage to Mecca is not complete without copulating with the camel. I'm not saying now. No, I am not. No, I don't think they can. How many Muslims have respected me as a woman? Think about it. That is definitely earned, okay? I cannot get along with a Muslim because the Quran doesn't respect me, the Hadith don't respect me. How can a Muslim respect a woman when according to the Quran and the Hadith, okay, they don't respect me as a woman?
Can't you just try to get along with Muslims then, will you? Why don't you have to fight for one? Why do you want Muslims that are Muslims fight for? You get out of it.
So why do Muslims disrespect women? Can you answer me this? Why do Muslim men disrespect and hate women? Hi Ben. When you answer that question, you've answered the question why I cannot respect Muslims. Yeah, I like that one. Have you answered my question? Why does Islam disrespect women? Just out of curiosity. Say no answer. How can you respect anyone that disrespects women like Islam does? You know, how can you trust a Muslim when they, oh, no, you know, a woman doesn't have to do anything, but then to be beaten if they don't obey a man? What goodness me? Can you answer my question or not? I hardly know the question. Where does it say in the Quran a woman can beat a man being good? Where does it say in the Quran that a woman can beat a man not being obedient? Barbaric, a fancy woman, young, bright person, sentence in the back, outright, you've done it to the end, I want you that day. The Quran is totally anti-women, as if women are all the fault of the world are because of a woman. A woman does. Yes, that's it. So, I'm sorry, I cannot respect everything that that piece was, but it's very big factor. The more it shows you that sex with animals and dead people, just like Muhammad did, even that sex with a watermelon. I mean, for goodness sake, why would anyone work on sex with a watermelon? Because it was a Muslim, Julian Sanders is a Muslim. That's what it is, man. They miss, they're so loving this time, and this is what they say with it. Of course there is. Oh, yes there is, because the Quran keeps on that. They're listening to it. Women are brain dead, remember? Their body is just for a man's pleasure, as they, you know, they are taught this. And this is why it says Islam. Yeah, I could do with a cuppa, nearly midnight here. I'll only say it for a little bit longer. Oh, thank you, Harley. I really do. You know, I've got to be up at 6 a.m. in the morning because I've got to finish the pack and have breakfast to go away. Oh, that reminds me, but we like that. I'm going to take the toaster out. Yeah, I just put the toaster in the kitchen. kitchen, and then I remembered I hadn't put the coffee container on the kitchen table either, so I had to do a lot of work then. So I decided to make a pot of coffee up, and everything else is on the kitchen table ready to pack away. And they're not big, they're tables, okay? I'm not paying attention. That's point two. What other point do you want? That they celebrated his birthday. That's it, whether it's second. So what's that got to do with the party?
Sorry.
Okay?
Let me get around that.
They celebrate
Then we're
on
gonna
the
get through it.
24th of December. It's a celebration. It's a day they pick. Okay? It doesn't matter why, how, whatever. And the point is, it's not about Christianity. It's about that. I don't care. No, it's not. It's not. Yeah, no, what's the difference? Who you told me to be human? It's you human. I respect the Christians enough to allow them to have their Christian day. What is wrong with that? Okay? Why are you on Power Talk? I don't need to keep my gob shut. I'm allowed to talk as much as I like. Okay?
Yeah, from now on, I think what is anybody in here who's challenging anybody on whether Cal Talk needs to be bounced out of there. Straight up, because that's just somebody who's antagonizing. Non-loving ass out the door. You know what the problem is, don't you? What is God? The problem is he has no one in his life, no one that cares about him, so he's just in here instigating with everyone else. So like I said, I just do the right thing and bounce him out of there. Trolls like that are not bad. You know, obviously, he's a poor little sickle gun that has no way to cares about him. He's playing that. And that's what I'm like, what absolutely. I mean, obviously, he's not even Christian, but obviously this is only Christmas. He's just an asshole guy, so let's not give him the decorum and hope that he's sitting there in the house. So I go and chat those good stories where we take them, I think it's not much control, besides the people, you know, that's the conversation and also disorder.
I'm going to be up so early. Human, I told you why I'm on Power Talk. Okay? And I'm on Power Talk because I can. Why are you on Power Talk if you're a Muslim? If you just celebrate Muhammad's birthday on the 24th of December, oh yeah, the UAE has stated a claim that you are celebrating Muhammad's birthday on the 24th of December. We know that they did it. They actually did
those liars who would like not the Muslim and Christians celebrate Jesus Day.
Can I get a mic check? Is it my mic? Because I saw another hand. Okay. You know what? First of all, I think it's a stupid argument. We as the honor people.
And then you have the very untalented military running away from battle, leaving really cool military equipment behind. So anyway, yeah, I just kind of thought it was interesting. I don't know if everybody else seen the video. It's a mistake that people made in the complicity of the Middle East. I wish the United States was all powerful, but it's not. I'm glad it isn't, because I wouldn't want Bill Duce, he's not sugar. The sugar daddy in Washington. They've been trying to win the Sunnah over to the Shia side, the side in Lebanon. They've been doing this for 10, 15 years. And the Sunnah don't like it. Because, according to Sunnah, Shias are worse than pigs and monkeys for Jews. And of course, the Sunnah thinks the same way about the Shia. But Iran has been very aggressive about influence in the Middle East, in Lebanon, in the Holy Lands, not the Islamic Holy Lands, but the other people's Holy Land. And so, there's a little thing to keep in mind when people say stuff. I don't know where this is going to go. I can't predict the future. But again, I really think, from my little limited perspective, the United States should be nowhere near Syria. But the slaughtering, it's tragic. It's a loss of human life. It's a humanitarian crisis. I agree on all that stuff. It's not our crisis. It's not our humanitarianism mistake. It's these other people. So they've come up to bat. And the United States should not be the sucker for the rest of the world to clean up other people's toilets. Syria is a toilet. It's a Sunni Shia toilet. Let them clean it up. Their problem. Go get your money. Yeah, it just makes sense. Of the Cold War, history repeats itself. I mean, during the Cold War, the Soviets called now and then American spies or British spies or whatever spies from the West, and the West called the Soviet spies. And they used to shoot them full of guns. But then somebody came up with some right idea. He said, how about we keep them alive? We send them to prison. We catch one of theirs, we catch one of ours. After a while, we negotiate, and we switch the spy. They get their spy back and get our spy back. Yeah, that's brilliant. Saves lives, shit, right? I mean, executing didn't solve anything. Until those parties found out. Yeah, it doesn't really solve anything. So let's keep them alive, give them a few years or so, and then we send them back where they came from. But the Muslims, they haven't discovered this yet. They are obsessed by executing. Yeah, kill them. Yes, we hate them so much. Kill them, behead them, hang them in graves. That will teach them a lesson, right? The Muslims are so, this is what they are. And Sunnis and Shias, they will never learn how to get along. Never. So what the heck, what's the problem? Let them kill each other. Allah Akbar, my degree.
You're right, in the Cold War, most station chiefs, whether you're KGB or whatever, FSB, CIA, they all knew each other. And like the United States, we have all kinds of law enforcement. We have our intelligence services. We have the FBI or Phoebes, as they're commonly sometimes referred to. We have state police, local police, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, there was a case where a young investigator for the FBI arrested a Soviet operative. Basically, he was an intel gathering. And so what did the KGB do? They knew of another CIA operative in Russia that arrested his butt. And eventually got on training. They both know they're back in the Cold War. Shavuot, Judith, good to see you. Back in the Cold War, it was called independent verification. No one trusted anybody. The intel community was very important. And people say, well, we spy on our neighbors. Governments don't trust any of the government. The stakes are way too high, too dangerous, too fragile. Then no one really trusts other people. So we all let's have an independent verification. What does it mean? Are they doing like James Bond, like stealing secrets? No, they're just verifying that when they made an agreement, the agreement is coming true. You're actually putting those missiles away. You're actually doing this. There's nothing wrong with independent verification. But we also did it with people we could trust. These are all people. That's pretty much what the intelligence community does most of the time. They're trying to fact check. Like they're going to Wikipedia. Oh yeah, the Ruskies are burying their missiles. We could trust them now. It said so on Wikipedia.